Trump's 50 secrets you didn't know about, tax evasion, Russian ties, and more. From secretive deals to controversial relationships, Donald Trump's life and presidency are filled with shocking revelations. In this video, we break down 50 of the most intriguing and mysterious aspects of Trump's business dealings, political moves, and personal life. Get the full scoop on Trump's hidden tactics, his ties to Russia, and the untold stories that have shaped his public persona. Trump's tax evasion tactics. Trump reportedly paid only $750 in federal income taxes in 2016, and no income taxes at all in 10 of the previous 15 years. Source: New York Times. The mystery of his tax returns. Trump fought against releasing his tax returns, and when they were leaked in 2020, they revealed significant debts and aggressive tax avoidance strategies. Source: New York Times. Trump's ties to Russian oligarchs. Trump had business ties to Russian oligarchs and businessmen, with reports showing millions in payments to his companies from Russian entities over the years. Source: Reuters. His relationship with Vladimir Putin. Trump often downplayed his relationship with Putin, but numerous reports suggested he sought favorable policies from Russia, including ending sanctions. Source: BBC. His involvement in the Access Hollywood tape. The leaked tape from 2005 revealed Trump making lewd comments about women, which was later used as a political weapon against him, but didn't hurt his public support significantly. Source: NBC News. Trump's denial of the birther movement. Despite initially promoting the birther conspiracy about President Obama, Trump later distanced himself from it, although his early rhetoric had fueled it. Source: Washington Post. The $1 million in loans from his father. Trump's wealth was significantly bolstered by his father's loans, with reports indicating that Trump received at least $1 million in financial support from Fred Trump to start his empire. Source: The New York Times. His secret 2016 meeting with Russians. During the 2016 campaign, Trump's team secretly met with Russian officials, leading to investigations into election interference. Source: The Mueller Report. Trump's use of pseudonyms. Trump allegedly used the pseudonym John Barron during his early business dealings, including making public comments on his own behalf. Source: Vanity Fair. His secretive health. Trump's health details were closely guarded. He reportedly took medications for cholesterol and hair loss, but the full extent of his medical conditions wasn't revealed until after office. Source: White House reports. The Trump Tower Moscow deal. Trump pursued a plan to build a Trump Tower in Moscow during his 2016 campaign, which he denied while running for president, even though he was actively negotiating. Source: CNN. The Trump Foundation's misuse of funds. The Trump Foundation was found to have improperly used funds, including buying a portrait of Trump with charity money and making political donations, which violated charity laws. Source: New York Attorney General. His involvement in the Central Park 5 case. Trump took out full-page ads in New York newspapers, calling for the execution of the Central Park 5, even after they were exonerated years later. Source: New York Times. The secretive Ivanka Trump's White House role. Ivanka Trump was given a major role in the White House without formal governmental experience or clear transparency about her influence on policy decisions. Source: Washington Post. His support for the Stop the Steal movement. Trump supported and promoted the Stop the Steal movement, falsely claiming that the 2020 election was stolen, leading to the January 6th Capitol insurrection. Source: The New York Times. Trump's history of lawsuits. Trump's business career was marked by numerous lawsuits, including from contractors, employees, and tenants who accused him of bad business practices. Source: Bloomberg. The Moscow Miss Universe contest. Trump owned the rights to the Miss Universe pageant, and in 2013, it was held in Moscow, a controversial event due to his ties to Russia. Source: CNN. His hidden real estate empire. Trump's real estate holdings were far more extensive and complex than originally disclosed, involving multiple subsidiaries and shell companies to avoid transparency. Source: The Guardian. His relations with Saudi Arabia. Trump had close relationships with Saudi officials, particularly Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and was criticized for his failure to hold the country accountable for human rights violations. Source: Washington Post. The $130,000 Stormy Daniels payment. Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid adult film star Stormy Daniels $130,000 in hush money over an alleged affair, which was later revealed as a campaign finance violation. Source: Federal Election Commission. Trump's use of foreign diplomats for personal gain. Throughout his presidency, Trump was accused of using his diplomatic relationships for personal financial gain, including pushing for foreign investments in his hotels. Source: The Atlantic. The missing $400 million in campaign funds. Trump's 2016 campaign was investigated for allegedly mismanaging funds, including funneling money into his private businesses instead of campaign efforts. Source: Politico. His support for right-wing extremist groups. Trump's rhetoric and policies often seem to encourage far-right extremist groups, particularly with his stand back and stand by comments to the Proud Boys. Source: NBC News. Trump's secretive communication via Twitter. Trump used Twitter to bypass traditional media channels, making public statements, policy announcements, and firing key officials without any official records or transparency. Source: Reuters. The fake news campaign. Trump branded many media outlets as fake news in an attempt to discredit critical reporting, undermining journalistic integrity. Source: CNN. His secret efforts to undermine the Mueller investigation. Trump privately attempted to obstruct the special counsel investigation into Russian interference, even reportedly asking staff to fire Robert Mueller. Source: Mueller Report. His relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Trump was once friends with financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and Trump's past involvement with Epstein's social circle was a topic of scrutiny. Source: New York Times. His secretive deals with foreign governments. Trump's business dealings with foreign governments remained opaque, especially his real estate deals involving foreign money, which some critics claimed presented conflicts of interest. Source: The Washington Post. The quiet withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. Trump's withdrawal from the Paris Agreement was one of the most controversial moves of his presidency, signaling a major shift away from global climate commitments. Source: The Guardian. Trump's secretive travel records. Trump's travel patterns and meetings were frequently undisclosed or misreported, raising questions about who he met with during his international trips and what was discussed. Source: The New York Times. That's it for today's deep dive into the 50 secrets surrounding Donald Trump's life and presidency. Whether you agree or disagree with his actions, one thing is clear: his time in the spotlight has been filled with controversy, intrigue, and many unanswered questions. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. We're constantly uncovering the stories that matter, so don't miss out on our next deep dive.